I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me.
Today, we will dive into the lyrics of I've Gotta Be Me to delve into its deep meaning beyond words. Welcome to the vibrant, electric, and magical halo of rock. Composed and written by Walter Marks in 1967, I've Gotta Be Me, it was released as a single by Steve Lawrence 2 years later. This is the version we will listen to next. The song, sounding as pop or, more accurately, as an orchestral standard, was made popular in the late 1960s both by the Broadway musical Golden Rainbow, starring Lawrence himself with his wife Adie Gorm, and recently by the famous buzz scene in the 2021 film Nobody. Let's listen now, if you like, to this beautiful and, as you already know, very inspiring song whose lyrics I will comment on later.
Whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I've gotta be me, I've gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? I want to live, not merely survive, and I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive. I've gotta be me, I've gotta be me. The dream that I see makes me what I am. That faraway prize, a world of success, is waiting for me. If I heed the call, I won't settle down or settle for less, as long as there's half a chance that I can have it all. I'll go it alone, that's how it must be. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I've gotta be me, I've gotta be me. Daring to try to do it or die, I've gotta be me. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I've gotta be me, I've gotta be me. Daring to try to do it or die, I've gotta be me.
Bravo! Well, I could not help but be moved once again by this message, for it certainly has a very direct, explicit, and clear message. Be yourself, because, for the rest, you cannot be someone else, and, if you try to be who you are not, it will be a theater whose cost can become very high in all senses. This is very well understood with the analogy of the current of a river, where being yourself and flowing according to your own nature would be going downstream, while doing the opposite, to satisfy someone else or fit into the molds of others' expectations of all kinds, would be like going upstream. Yes, against the current of yourself, feeling then the friction, the resistance, the discomfort, or the bitterness disguised or not of being the puppet in the hands of others. be they people, organizations, or institutions, to whom most people, seeking the comfort or security of the social herd, cede their own power to discern and decide for themselves, thus becoming little more than cattle for those who cunningly manipulate and control them from positions of power, power which, of course, is ceded by consent, acquiescence, or connivance to such controllers by the disempowered mass. It is true that very many people, as prey to a massive Stockholm syndrome, have normalized this situation of covert slavery, and that, in the established socio-cultural theater, they enjoy a substitute of well-being, with their consciences numbed and hooked to the conventionally accepted programs, schemes, and slogans, or forced in more or less subtle or explicit ways. Thus they survive, and not really live, as the song suggests, until perhaps their lives are shaken, because the foundations of their personalities are so flimsy and insecure, being built on layers and layers of lies. But you, who are listening to me, probably hold within you a sense of honesty and loyalty to yourself. And you know perfectly well how it feels when you betray yourself in order to please others and find greater security or apparent comfort. On the other hand, you also have or will have had the experience of, even very simply, being the protagonist of your life, owning your time and energy, being and doing what you love, and thus feeling good, really good, like fish in the water. Not like all those fish out of water, who are the ones who barely survive instead of living. So what other more sensible, noble, natural, and favorable path could be left, except to be oneself? The lyrics of this song end proclaiming, I gotta be me, I've gotta be me. Daring to try, to do it or die. I've gotta be me. Not doing it, as has already been said, may seem more comfortable and safer. But those of you lucid enough know that first you start by betraying yourself, and then you end up as mere enforcers of protocols and slogans, automatons who just do what they are told without question, uncritical consumers of the mass media who follow without complaint the official indications. As in any totalitarianism of yesterday and today anywhere, including the more subtle and current versions, which go under the name of democracy or rule of law and which are lately updated and promoted through multicolored logo agendas, sold to the public with the propaganda of their wonderful good intentions on paper. In short, nothing new under the sun. In any case, you know that if you do not think and decide for yourself about the things that concern you, others will do it for you, and not precisely according to your best interest, but according to their own. You can be sure of that as far as society as a whole is concerned. And it doesn't matter whether something seems right or proper to a majority of millions or to the presumed authorities or experts who have previously shaped the perception of that majority through fear, guilt, and division among the people, by fomenting or crafting narratives, polemics, and controversies that polarize them into antagonistic sides, parties, isms, and ideologies, if for you something does not feel right, healthy, or suitable for you, you have no reason to take it, regardless of the manipulations, pejorative labels, pressures, or coercions of all kinds that they try to put on you to do so, all of which highlights only the very dubious nature of the ends pursued by those who try to force them on people in that malicious way. In short, being yourself is not, as it seems to be nowadays, a luxury or a privilege that someone else should grant you, but rather the healthy affirmation and development of your own innate nature as a living creature, and, of course, your inalienable right as a human being. This is how I feel it and share it to you. Thank you for joining me on this ride through the lyrics of this song. Before closing, I invite you to leave me a comment. What do you feel about the meaning of I've gotta be me? If you liked this video, feel free to like it. You can also subscribe to the channel to support it. I really appreciate it. See you soon and feel great.